was the Chiefs-Ravens game. And my thoughts on this are as simple as this. The first half, the Ravens defense was not up to par at all. And then the second half, they were lights out.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens completely abandoned their bread and butter, their running game. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like, you had so much going for you, like, in the run this whole year. Like, even against some of the best defenses in the NFL, you were able to run the ball at will. And for me, it was so disappointing to see. I mean, ultimately, I'm happy about it. But as far as individual performance, like, living up to performance, it was disappointing to see the Ravens play in a way that they hadn't played all year. Like, they were so pass heavy. It felt like it felt like, in a weird way, they panicked way before they needed to panic.
Mm-hmm.
And they just said, Lamar, you're a good player. Like, I'm going to put it all on your shoulders and you figure it out. And Lamar did not have a good game either. I mean, he threw 2 picks. Like, he did all right on the ground. And then, of course, you've got Zay Flowers, who had his worst game as a pro. I mean, he made plays, yeah, but he fumbled the ball on the goal line and, like, leading up to that, taunted somebody after, like, the biggest play of the game, 60-some yards. I want to say he fumbled twice, actually. Like, he was not... Actually, I'll look at that individual stats, but, I mean, I felt as though there was so much to be desired, like, left to be desired about that game for the Ravens. And they really could have won this one, and I even think fairly easily won this one. I mean, they only had 81 rushing yards. The Chiefs had 89. And they were averaging on the ground, let's see. Actually, let's just do yards per play. They were averaging almost 6 yards per play. The Chiefs were averaging 4.4. Like, don't turn over the football and run the football more. And I think it's very possible that the Ravens go out of that one with a win. I mean, it was disappointing. But again, I'm happy about it. It might sound like I'm not, but I am. I promise you. Yeah, I just felt like the Chiefs lucked out by getting a Ravens team that just wasn't ready. Like, it's unbelievable. But I will say in the first half, they were impressive on offense. I will say that. In the first half, they were certainly impressive. So, Derek, what are your thoughts on this game?
Pretty much everything you said I completely agree with. I think it was weird. Like, the Ravens almost were playing not to lose, right? When they shouldn't have at all. Like, they were very much in that game, and they started, like, panicking, where they're like, okay, we gotta get up on top, and we gotta get control of this game. And they got so aggressive that it cost them. And then the only thing I'll really add on this that pissed me off was at the end of the game. What was that? What were they doing? Like, you need to go down and score. And Lamar, as great of a player as I think he is, and he is, I've seen him in person, he is amazing.
We both have said that multiple times. We think Lamar is an elite quarterback. And I think he deservedly wins the MVP this year. But yeah, keep going,
Yeah, no, absolutely. He is. And I'm telling you, for everybody who watches Lamar and you're like, oh yeah, he's really good. No, it's totally different when you see him in person. It's a different animal. It is a different animal. But no, at the end of that game, it was like, bro, they were holding on to the ball. Lamar was holding on to the ball. It felt kind of like, to be honest with you, just a comparison like with what we've seen here in Cleveland, it was almost like the 2019 Browns offense, where it was a lot of way too downfield. Baker was sitting back there holding onto the ball, and you couldn't really do anything. That's what it felt like for me watching Lamar in the last 2 minutes there. It was like, get rid of the ball. Like, run. You're fast. Run. Like, what were they doing? I don't understand.
And I wonder what the similarity is between the 2019 Browns offense and this Baltimore Ravens offense.
Hmm.
I wonder if maybe somebody reverted to their old bad habits when they
Mhm.
shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, but that's about all I have to say. I was very, very disappointed in the Ravens. Not that I wanted them to win. I didn't want the Chiefs to win, and I didn't want the Ravens to win. It was a lose-lose, but I was just disappointed that it wasn't more of a fight. I think they were in it, and they kind of got in their own way at times, and then I think they completely just threw the game away at the end, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, spot on. I mean, something has to be said about turning the football over. They turned the football over 3 times.
Hmm.
They threw a pick, they fumbled twice, and they didn't execute plays and they panicked. Like, uh, for me, the game plan for Baltimore should have been so simple. Go in there, dominate on the ground, right? Like, pound the rock down their throat, make them commit to your run, so that way it opens up stuff for Lamar in the pass game. And it felt like they just didn't do enough of that. And then, they didn't take care of the ball, again, in part, in my opinion, because they were throwing the ball way too much. So, because none of their fumbles were from their running backs.
Hmm.
Their fumbles were from Zay Flowers. So, again, if they don't have the turnovers, they probably win that football game. Excuse me, being blunt, like, they probably should have won that football game still. But they did too many of the things that bad teams do, and it caught them. They got caught. Um, but yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. For me, it just sucks that, it sucks that it was against the Chiefs too, because the Chiefs always get that goddamn luck.
Hmm.
You know, like, their fans were moaning like crazy after what's his name that didn't even dress, Kadarius Toney, because he was lined up offsides, against the Bills in the regular season. Um, they moaned so much about it, and it's like they're getting so much luck down the stretch.
Hmm.
Like, that Bills game, like, the Bills defense, which had been bad the first half of the year, but solid the second half, completely crumples, completely terrible. Um, and yeah,